Greetings. This is Dr. Count Lily again, and this is the final of our 3 videos. And today I'm going to talk about reasons for becoming a teacher and why teaching is such an important profession. So I'm just going to share my screen and we'll be off. Let's see. All right. Okay. So becoming a teacher, my top 10 reasons. In the United States, we had a late night television show that ran for years and years. It was called the David Letterman Show. Perhaps some of you have seen it. But almost every night, David Letterman would identify his top 10 items related to a particular theme. So there were different themes each night, and he'd always have a top 10 list. These lists were always listed in reverse order, so the most important idea came last on the list. And that's what I'm going to do today, is I'm going to start with some good reasons for becoming a teacher, but I'm going to move towards the most important ones as I go towards the end of my list. So today, I'm going to present my top 10 reasons for becoming a teacher. First, one good reason is that children are so cute. So here you see lots of different kids from all different backgrounds. They're lovely. But one of the things you'll find when you're a teacher is cuteness is always there, but it's not the most important thing. And kids also are not always cute. Sometimes they can be a little difficult. So cute is good, but it's not always enough. Reason number 9, teaching is never dull. And this is another good reason to teach, because you never get bored. So here you see a teacher and the children have written birthday surprise. This is a very famous picture in American culture about teaching. So teaching is never dull, and that's a good thing. Next, another reason teaching is never dull is because kids create such interesting things. So this one child over here created a letter where the child wrote this letter but pretended to be his mother. So he wrote, "Dear Ms. Miller, Ray is so sick he cannot go to school." So here we get these interesting responses when children are trying to get out of things. We also have this amazing answer to a math test. The math question read, "Bob had 36 candy bars. He eats 29. What does he have now?" And the child answers, "Diabetes. Bob has diabetes." Another child writes, "Alex should not have a pet iguana. He should not have a pet iguana because it will bite him and it'll eat the couch." So you never know what kids are going to come up with. And it's always absolutely fascinating to see what they do. So teaching is never dull. Teaching can lead to a variety of opportunities. It can lead to teaching in different communities. So in the United States, we have, immigrant communities, we have African American communities, we have Asian communities. There's all different places where you can teach and you can work with children from different backgrounds. You can also travel and teach. So you can go to different parts of the world and visit schools or go to conferences or even teach in schools in different places in the world. You can take children with you sometimes as you travel. So it's very common in the United States to have a teacher lead a group of children to go to different places in the US or different places in the world. So travel can be a piece of teaching. It can also lead to international study. So I'm hoping some of you will come to the University of South Carolina, which is the big white picture there in the middle, the white building. That's our School of Education, and we have lots of international scholars that come from Taiwan or other parts of the world. So I hope someday you'll think about coming and joining us there. But there's other places in the world where you can go and study. So going to study is an amazing reason for teaching. You can also contribute to your community. So reason number 7 is teachers contribute to their communities. So there's community education programs, there's programs where you work with parents or you work with mothers, you work with people around literacy and their own reading and writing. So not all teachers work with children. Many of them work in communities with people in those communities. Number 6. Teachers get to interact with a wide range of people. So some of the people you interact with are going to be very different from yourself, and that's amazing and wonderful. And that's always a very special opportunity that we get with teaching. For example, I get to spend time with you folks. So I was in Taiwan back in February, and I'll be coming back in the fall, assuming that the virus doesn't prevent it. But I would never have these opportunities except for for teaching and moving from teaching into becoming a professor. Reason number 5, teachers help children learn. And this is an amazing reason. We actually watch children or young people as they start to understand new things about the world. They start to see new competencies that they have. They see themselves figuring things out, and we see them figuring it out. And that's one of the really exciting reasons to become a teacher. Reason number 4, teachers make children's lives better. So schools not only do the teaching thing, we do lots of other things in the communities where we work. Sometimes we have what we call a drive, or we'll collect materials and school supplies for children. We sometimes provide food for children. Right now, during the coronavirus, many, many children are coming to school every day with their families to get food because they can't get food in other ways. If they're particularly poor families, those children are entitled to a free lunch every day at school. So now they come to school to still pick up their free lunches, even though school's closed. So they come once a week and they get lunches for the entire week. So it's a very important role that schools and teachers play in the United States, is to make sure children are fed. We have clothes drives and we have playgrounds. The playgrounds that are connected to our schools are play spaces for the communities. And that's a really important thing as well. Reason number 3 is that teaching is absolutely fascinating. And here I'm showing you some of the things that just make me think when I work with children. In the top right corner, you see a white sheet of paper, and on it says Baby Bears Present. This is what's called a running record, and this is what how we in the United States, we use these forms to record what children do as they read. So we write down every time there's a check mark, that means a child read a word correctly. But then if they make a mistake, I write out the word that they said instead of the word they should have said. So then I can go back and I can look at their reading and I can see exactly where they made mistakes. And I can look for patterns in how that child is working with text. And this is fascinating to me because once I can start to see the patterns, I can start to think about how I can help that child. And this is what's so magical about teaching. In some of these other images, we see creative things that children are doing. This child has drawn a race car and is now pretending to drive it. How clever are these kids? We see another child who's made a little doll and then drawn a picture of that. We see different artwork that children are doing, and we look and watch their artwork and we think, oh my goodness, what are the kids thinking and how did they come up with that? And what's the story behind this? And what is this child conveying in their artwork? So teaching is absolutely fascinating. There are so many things that children show us and help us with. Reason number 2 is teaching is intellectual work. And sometimes people think that, oh, teaching doesn't take that much thought. You know, you don't have to be that smart to be a teacher. Teachers are just told what to do. But teaching is actually fascinating in terms of the ways we have to think. We have to really problem solve about why particular children might not be learning as well as other children. How can I teach it differently so that this child will understand? How can I work with a large group of children when they're all different and try and teach them the same sorts of ideas? So in education, we have research that helps us understand what's going on. So although I started my career as a teacher, after teaching in children for 18 years, I moved to the university and I started preparing teachers, so helping people become teachers. So you become a professor and you can work with pre-service teachers or teacher candidates. And you can also do your own research. So I do research with young children. I presented some of it yesterday, where we were talking about transnational funds of knowledge that children bring, and how we understand better what children can do and how that's important for us as teachers to build on that knowledge and to understand that. So we have conferences that we go to and we share our research and we learn from each other. We have professional organizations that publish research and that provide forums for sharing that research. So teaching is truly, truly intellectual work that is very important. And finally, teaching makes the world a better place. When we teach, we're preparing children to not only be teachers, we're preparing them to be scientists, doctors, lawyers, engineers, all of the people who make our world a better place learn in schools. There are schools that help them to learn that. learn the things that they know. And there's teachers, both formal teachers who are working in schools and informal teachers in communities and in other spaces. So teaching truly makes the world a better place by helping the best minds be prepared to do what is needed in the world. So those are my 10 reasons for becoming a teacher. I hope that some of them resonate with you. Reason number 10, kids are cute. Number 9, teaching's never dull. Number 8, teaching can lead to a variety of opportunities. Number 7, teachers contribute to their communities. Number 6, teachers interact with a wide range of people. Number 5, teachers help children learn. Number 4, teachers make children's lives better. Number 3, teaching is fascinating. Number 2, teaching is intellectual work. And reason number 1, teaching makes the world a better place. Thank you, and Sheshe.